What's up guys, it's National Master Dem Apples here, back again with another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the games of a very cool and famous Grandmaster named Carlos Torre Repetto. Now, he was a Grandmaster a long time ago, and I think he's really underrated because many people have not heard of him or have seen his games, but he's most well known for this tactic called the windmill. Now, you might have heard of the windmill. It's basically where one piece keeps moving out of the way of another piece, which checks the king, usually a bishop and a rook, but can be done with a queen and a rook and stuff like that. And so it keeps moving out of the way while grabbing a ton of material, and the opponent can't do anything because their king is always getting in check. So let's take a look at this position. I encourage you to pause the video and try to find the move that Torre played to create this new combination. But he played the move bishop to f6, which unleashes an attack on the enemy queen and unleashes an attack on the g7 pawn. Now, his opponent here is not stupid. In fact, it was the then world champion Emanuel Lasker, and, well, this must have been a stunning move. So, first of all, as pointed out, like, the queen is attacked, and if you don't want to lose your queen, you better take this one, right? So, takes, but now, as you can see, Torre ends up getting way more material than he started with. So he gains one pawn, checks again to make sure that the king has to go back, getting in the line of the fire of the bishop. He's already gotten 2 pawns, and takes a bishop, so now he's only down 4 points. I say only, but he's about to win this queen as well. And the game is pretty much over at this level. I mean, it's a 2-pawn difference, but you're not telling me this is a real pawn because there's knight g4 and this pawn will be won. In fact, yeah, he just wins it right away and moves back. And as long as he doesn't get back rank checkmated, Torre will win. And the rest of the game wasn't super interesting. Torre just consolidated, won another pawn, played g3 to not get mated, and he, well, won the game because Lasker resigned. And yeah, he's going to win another pawn as well. So this is one famous game by Torre. Now here's another one. This one is against Frank Marshall, who, if you haven't heard of him, has played the that gold coin game. The thing where people said, like, oh, they threw gold coins on the table after. And Frank Marshall was also an insane tactician, more well known because of his crazy queen g3 move. I have a video on that game that you should go check out after this one. But here is Torre playing against Marshall. And this game is very short. It's only 7 moves. So let's see how well Torre won. And you might be able to get something similar in your own games. So we have d4, knight f6, c4, and knight c6. This is a very rare, I'd say, an underrated opening called the 2 knights tango against d4 and c4. And I have a friend who plays this. His name is Hank, and yeah, he's pretty good with this, and this is a really tricky opening. So immediately d5 is played, just questioning the position of this knight, which looks very misplaced. And now b3 is played. Now, white should probably be trying to, well, prioritize development with, like, knight c3 or gaining central space. b3 just makes no sense whatsoever. I suppose you want a fianchetto, but it's a bit too slow. e6 is a very principled move, trying to break up the center. And this is the theme of many hyper-modern openings nowadays. You give your opponent, like, a big center, and then you chip away at it with moves like e6, maybe c6, stuff like this. Here, e6 makes more sense because you can get the bishop out. Bishop b2, already a step in the wrong direction because bishop b4 comes with check. And white kind of has to give up. Well, he has to concede something. For example, if he goes knight c3, well, now his bishop is blocked, so this isn't super useful. Black can continue with castling, or pawn takes pawn, and he has some pressure along this diagonal. So it's not as easy to defend this pawn anymore. And the other option that white has is bishop to c3, which is a perfectly fine move, but then you've just kind of wasted, you wasted 2 moves for a bishop that moved, like, once. And black, after the ensuing exchange, which doesn't have to happen, actually. Black can play queen e7 and still question the position of this bishop, because now white's knight can't move. I'm getting a little bit too in the thick of it, but, I'm not trying to do that. So knight d2 was played, because Marshall obviously didn't want to, like, block his bishop, but knight e4, And it suddenly becomes apparent, how are you going to defend this knight? You'd like to go knight f3, but after takes, you're just down a piece. In fact, you're probably going to have to lose your queen as well. So, he finds the best alternative is to just go back, which is very unfortunate. But here, Torre finds a very nice move, queen to f6, and his opponent resigned. Now, I'm not saying you can't get this in your own games, but, like, I don't think it's likely, but I definitely think it's possible. And yeah, the two knights tango is just a really tricky opening. And Mr. Combination here just tricked another opponent. So why did white resign? First of all, this is a mate threat. But second of all, say you defend the mate threat. There are multiple tactics here. But knight g4 and you can't defend f2. This is the main one. You could try f3, but then we have the classic tactic. I mean, I don't really need... This does not need explanation, really. And, yeah, what else are you supposed to do here? I mean, I suppose you could go knight h3 here, but knight g4 still happens, and not only is there a threat on this pawn, but look at the rook in the corner. So this is a really nice tactic, and from another game of Torre. Let's take a look at his final game. Here was a game against Friedrich Samich, and... yeah, the game is pretty interesting, but as you notice, Torre just played very principled chess, centralized his pieces, then decentralized them because he wanted to attack the king. This is a pretty questionable decision, but yeah, this was played, and he sacrificed a piece. The reason why is because he was probably alright with a draw. Now, even though he was alright with a draw, he ended up winning this game because king g7 was played, defending the pawn on h6, saying, oh, I'm going to take your knight next. Well, Torre was having none of it today, and played the amazing combination, rook takes e6, and so the problem is, right, you still can't take the knight, because now your queen is defended, and this is a simple checkmate in one. So, we had f takes e6. I mean, sorry, not f takes e6. F takes e6 is a bad move, because now queen g6, and queen h7 checkmate, right? So knight takes e6 is played, but now because the pawn does not control this square, the knight can come in, check, and, well, if king f6, this is just checkmate, right? So, that is not what was played. King went back, knight takes pawn, king g7, knight f5, and you notice, like, Torre's really good at these bouncing back and forth moves, as we saw with a windmill, and so I guess this is a common theme of his. I'm not too sure, though. King g8, and now something has changed, right? And... what has changed is that now when he moves the knight, right, it comes with a tempo on the king, meaning that the h7 square is now available. And after this is just checkmate. And a really nice combination by Torre again. Just highlighting this because it's like his 120th anniversary, and yeah, I mean, he's a legendary chess player, and I feel like not enough people know about him. So, thanks for watching, like and subscribe if you've enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.